Everyone, welcome to. Okay, wait, let me restart that. I sounded like Spider Man from Civil War. Hey, everybody, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. I hope you guys are ready for this review show. It's a 10 o'clock show in the morning. I decided that I will be doing the reviews the day after in the morning when I think it's a good time for South Africans and for our fans from overseas, from example India, etc., that do watch the show. I thought that it would be a nice time. I mean, 10 o'clock, most of you guys will probably be getting into work, settling in at your desks. If you want to have a little bit of a update on everything that's happening in Test cricket while you're starting off your work to get you started and get you in the mood and flowing and everything, then I think this is brilliant for that. I guess if you're a big cricket fan, I think it will be right down your alley. I mean, I worked for a sports company, so obviously back in the day, so this would have been ideal listening to this stream in the morning while I'm scouring through the internet for the latest news, cricket stories, etc. But I don't know how this if this will distract you or don't distract you, but I hope you guys are going to enjoy the show and you're going to be right here with me to discuss this first day of the second test between South Africa and the West Indies. An interesting one. A lot of wickets tumbled on this day. It was a strange one to analyze. I'm going to be trying to work it out in my mind while I'm speaking to you guys on actually what happened now that I'm going to reflect back on the match. A lot of those ideas will probably come up and be revealed to you guys as we go along in the show. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell for all future videos, please. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is very important, guys, because this is our bread and butter. This is what makes us Cricket Fanatics Magazine, is our digital magazine. We've decided to make it free for everybody so that everybody in all parts of South Africa can reach it and read it at a very, very cheap rate. When I'm talking about rate, I'm talking about data rates. It's not like an app where you have to download megabytes to read it. You can read this in your browser and on all devices, whether it be your mobile phone, whether it be a computer screen, whether it be on your tablet. It doesn't matter. You can read this and it's an adjustable to your device. So please go and download it. We put a hell of a lot of effort in every single month to deliver these magazines to you guys. So please go check it out. It really helps us out. You'll get information in there that you won't get anywhere else, exclusive content that is just for the magazine. So please go and check that out. And also, as you come in, please smash that like button. And after this video has finished airing and it has ended, please go ahead and comment in the comment section. Thank you so much for commenting on the preview. It's been helping the preview a hell of a lot to get good views. So thanks a lot for doing that. Continue to do so, because I do believe that these review shows aren't necessarily only valid once the day is done, because there are some elements and some talking points that we talk about that carries over through the other days as well. So please go ahead and comment in the comment section and smash that like button. So important that you do so. Without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to summarizing everything and analyzing everything with you guys. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with day one of the second test between West Indies and South Africa. Wow. What a match. It has been electric so far. If you're a bowler, it's been a match for you. If you're a fan of bowling and fast bowling, this is the show for you, because ultimately Guyana's pitch played a little bit differently to what I expected. I'm going to start with the pitch first and foremost, because South Africa obviously opted to bat first again, and they went with the lineup that a lot of us predicted actually on the previous show. Not all of us necessarily all wanted this one. A lot of us called for Vian Mulder to be dropped, and I feel that we might have been wrong with that decision. Definitely from a bowling front, from a batting front, um, you might say something else because obviously he didn't perform and put in a performance like he did in the first test. But from a bowling perspective, we have to say that Coach Shukri got that right because the balance is there. Vian Mulder has been taking a lot of pressure off the other bowlers. But before we get into the bowling side of things from a South African standpoint, I want to start with the batting. And it all starts with the pitch. This is going to be my observation of the situation. I'm no cricket expert, as you guys know. I'm a fan just like you guys. So I'm not a coach and I'm not a cricket analyst to the degree of, like, I'm talking about that would be on Sky Sports as an analyst or on Supersport as an analyst necessarily to the degree of being a statistician and understanding the game at that level. I'm a fan that gives my observations about the situation. Yes, I have journalism experience and I've been a journalist before, and I'm still a journalist to this day, but for my Cricket Fanatics magazine, which is a very different publication to any other publication around. We try and serve the fans and give information that is relatable to the fans and can connect with you guys. We can't necessarily go and write like Shakespeare content or try and um, present the content in a way that is like Tolkien. We try to give a type of level of writing that everybody can connect with from any walk of life, any age, and it's easy and simple to understand because we always have to take into account our people, our fans that are new to this, that are new to the game, and that's something that I always want to make sure that I serve them as well because we need to get new fans into the game so that they can move forward and they can become cricket fans and fanatics like we are today. They come on this journey with us, and the more they speak with us, the more they learn about the game, the more fanatical they become. So that's the true job of cricket fanatics, is turning fans, ordinary fans, or maybe non-cricket fans into fanatics. And that's the journey that you guys have gone on with me so far, and I think it's been pretty fun and enjoyable on from my part. But let's start with the pitch. I looked at the wicket and how it was playing, and to me, what it seemed like is that I felt that the batters were kind of surprised by what the wicket actually dished out. The To me, it was unnatural the way the ball was angling in. Like there were quite a few balls pitched on fourth stump, like, and to the cricket fans that, or the people that don't maybe understand what I mean by that. I mean, a lot of you guys will because you are massive cricket watchers, but to the non-cricket watchers that maybe don't know much about it, you get your three wickets, so one, two, three stumps, and then I'll just say like the same distance between one stump and another. You just take another one next to that, and that's basically fourth stump. It's an invisible stump. A lot of the balls were pitched at around about a good length, and it, it's and a good length is a little bit just in front of a shorter delivery. I'm in a fuller delivery, or and then you get a Yorker delivery, but it was pitched on almost like a good length, but on fourth stump, and it angled in quite significantly. Like Tony DeZorzi's wicket, for example. Okay, he's a left-hander, so they came in from the other side, and they pitched it just outside off stump, but a little bit on a good length, and it cut him completely in half. It was incredible how much it actually angled in, and he went in for a defensive shot. And I think anything on off stump that was turning in, he would have blocked, but it was just a little bit outside off stump, and the ball was jagging in amazing, like crazily in, and he got a good delivery, and it cut him in half. And I don't think that the batters actually expected that to happen, for the ball to do that on this wicket. Now, Michael Holding spoke on day 4 or 5 of the test match, or the first test match, about this wicket going to be good for seamers and that there's going to be some grass on the wicket. Now there was grass, but it wasn't like crazily green grass. It almost looked like a little bit of, it looked a bit um, on the browner tinge when it comes to the color of the wicket. And the balls were actually moving off the wicket quite quite sharply. And I don't think that the batters actually expected that to happen, particularly South Africa's batters, I'm going to talk about first. And a lot of our wickets, there were a lot of wickets bowled due to that. I mean, Aiden Markram was got 14, and he too was caught out by a delivery that kept quite low as well. Some of the balls also kept lower for where it was pitched. Like the ability to be able to read how the ball is going to bounce and angle was the tough thing. And I don't know how batters are going to adapt to that or how they could have adapted to that. My probable advice would have been, because normally when the ball's moving around, you kind of tell your batters to maybe play the ball a little bit later and not don't move forward as much, because you don't necessarily want to be caught trapped, or you don't want to be edge the ball to the slips by playing a shot that maybe isn't there. And perhaps the way to combat this was to maybe just stand still in the crease, which is completely opposite to what you try and tell your batters. Really, you normally tell them to come forward and move their feet. But I think that maybe on this pitch, the way the ball was moving, maybe standing a little bit more still, playing in the ball quite late would have been the answer perhaps. But it was angling in, but also angling in quite at a pace. So I think the wicket was a lot quicker than what they expected as well. And you can probably read into that by them choosing to bat first. They obviously thought that maybe the the wicket would be less challenging. Now, I don't think that this was an unplayable wicket. We could see, obviously, by the way Dane Pitt and Nandre Berger actually handled themselves at the crease, the way they play the ball actually quite a lot later than the other batters. I felt that they kept quite still in the crease. They didn't move around too much as well when it came to their shots played. But it wasn't unplayable. I wouldn't say that it was unplayable from what I saw. I mean, there was clearly something enough in the wicket to play the long game and be patient. And we saw that because Tristan Stubbs got a good start, and then I felt that he probably was the only one that gave his wicket away, threw his wicket away. Um, I think he played at a delivery that was unnecessary. It was an outswinger, and he drew Tristan Stubbs into drive, and he ended up edging the ball quite significantly. He got him a thick edge, and I think that was maybe the only one that I felt maybe he actually gave his wicket away. I mean, Temba got a crazy ball that angled in from way outside and outside off, and and it kept quite low as well. I mean, for him to be bundled over like that for the size that he is, I don't know, no diss at him, but it it did jag back very sharply, um, and it kept low. So I think I don't want to blame Temba too much for that, because that was a very good delivery, that or an unexpected delivery. David Bedingham, I was a little bit upset about David's performance here. He was the one I felt that could have been our savior here with Calvarena, the two of them. They got themselves in, they got South Africa going again. Uh, they, I feel to an extent, they brought some solidity. But I think that Bedingham also, it was a great delivery from Joseph, yes. Um, and Bedingham went for a drive, and and generally speaking, he's quite an attacking batter, so he's going to go for shots. Um, but he was fooled by the wobble seam, and it nipped away from him, and he edged it outside edge through to the keeper. Um, but it perhaps could have been avoided. Calvarena was a strange one. Um, I do feel that the shot selection there was poor from Cal, but at the same time, the way that ball came from around him and crashed into the stumps was weird. I looked at it a couple of times and I was like, wait, that's weird. I mean, he went wide of the crease and it was on a length and it came from around the wicket and it hit middle and leg. Um, he did try to walk across over Verena a little bit and tried to play off his pads. Uh, but he was caught completely by surprise by the line of the ball. And it was quite a strange dismissal. And he looked very good at the crease, I felt, at this point. Um, I think even Joseph himself was quite shocked by the fact that that ball actually hit the stumps. So that was a little bit of a nightmare one. Um, I mean, Vian Mulder, I just, I think you could have done better there, to be honest with you. He, it wasn't necessary. It was a good delivery, but I think he could have been a little bit more confident, perhaps, maybe with his shot. Uh, the movement caught him out a bit, um, and it grazed the outside edge and straight into the silver. And then Kesha Maharaj bowled completely. Uh, he didn't, yeah, he was discastled. I'm not going to talk too much about that one. As well as Kagiso Rabada. That's 4 ducks in the innings. Temba Bavuma, Vian Mulder, Kesha Maharaj, and Kagiso Rabada. And that hurt us. That definitely hurt us. And we got to a stage where we were 97 for 9, and it looked like we were going to be bowled out for under 100. But then Dane Pieter and Nandre Burger put on an amazing partnership, 63-run partnership. It's the highest 10-wicket partnership in South Africa for South Africa. And they hit that at about 53 runs already, or 56 runs already. They hit that record. And then they went on to score a little bit more as well. So it's brilliant. 38 not out by Dane Pitt. That's going to push his average up. But Nandre Burger got 23. And I think they batted quite well to take South Africa past the 150 mark at least, to make this, to give us something to bowl at. And after this innings, I was disappointed. I was upset. Of course I was. I was like disgusted by the performance. But then I remembered, only judge at the wicket after both teams have batted. And the West Indies came out to bat. And at first, they looked good. At first, they seemed okay with handling the lines and links that South Africa were bowling, at least for the first over. And then we got that wicket that we needed. Louis out for a duck. Nandre Burger with a fantastic delivery. Absolutely of a beautiful delivery. And they were down 1 for 2 runs with 2 runs on the board at the end of the second over. So that was a brilliant start, the start South Africa needed. And then Keith Carty played quite attacking, was getting a little bit of luck as well, and started pushing that runs up a little bit and chipping away at the lead. But then Mulder came into the attack and he bowled beautifully. Now, I want to talk about KG over here. I felt that KG could have bowled a little bit better. I think that on occasions it was a little bit too full and on occasions a little bit too wide. I felt that he needed to hug that off stump a little bit more with his line and length, and he might have gotten a lot more um, rewards out of that. And I think also cutting. I feel that he didn't use that in cutter enough. I think he could have used that cutter a little bit more, like the West Indies did. I'm pretty sure that KG has the pace and the skill to be able to implement the type of deliveries that Seals and Joseph um, executed in this match. I mean, Samar Joseph was a homecoming for him. Five for 33, brilliant bowling, and Jaden Seals got 3 for 45. And I thought that KG Rabada would be the one that would be sitting on wickets in this match. I didn't expect it to be Vian Mulder and Andre Berger. And I have to give props to Andre Berger and Vian Mulder for the way they bowled. Yes, there was a little bit of luck for Vian, particularly with that caught and bowled. Brilliant skill to execute it. But I felt that he bowled decent line and lengths consistently, and he probed away. And he was responsible for 4 wickets. He took out um, Athanase, he took out Hodge, he took out Josh De Silva as well. And just to put the cherry on top of the cake, Maharaj hit a wicket, got an LBW right at the end of the day's play. And the West Indies were 97 for 7. And they are currently 63 runs behind South Africa. And we got a morning session to come out and bowl at them, which is a massive prop. I feel a massive positive for South Africa. I think that works in our advantage. KG Rabada and Nande Berger should be getting quick wickets in this first session on day 2. I don't think the pitch would have changed too much from yesterday. And I think there will still be some spunk in the wicket for them to get those deliveries angling in and jagging in and out. So I would expect them to make this a quick and easy. Um, my thumb. Something's wrong. I think I sprained it. Um, the I think they should be able to dismiss West Indies quite quickly over here. I think that's what they would expect. I don't think they should. I think they should be expecting that from each other and doing so. And I'm hoping that the second innings will be a lot better now that they've experienced this wicket and know what they are going to be dealing with. Perhaps they need to maybe stand a little bit on closer to off stump when they are batting, maybe perhaps, and a little bit more outside of the crease, perhaps, um, to try and minimize the amount of movement that they would be dealing with. Obviously, if you stand a little bit more forward, you're going to get the ball on the start of its trajectory rather than having to deal with the end of its trajectory where the ball just cuts you in half completely and moves in. So I don't know. Maybe that's technically how they could do something. Maybe some of you cricket buffins can maybe give another suggestion on what they could do. But so far, 17 wickets on day 1. A massive day for the bowlers. And I'm hoping that South Africa make light work of the tail of West Indies and wrap it up quickly so that they can go in for another bat. Because there are loads of batters in this team that I feel need a redemption arc in this particular innings. They are on the brink of having to fight for their places in the side. I feel to an extent because a good batter was that deserved another opportunity was left out of the side in Ryan Rickleton. So the other batters need to now step up and prove themselves. I think that it's a big innings for Aiden Markram, who has had a terrible time away from home. And I knew that perhaps scoring that warm-up 100 shouldn't have been read into too much. And I was a little bit weary of doing so and getting too excited about it. But this innings is a big innings for Aiden Markram, and he needs to step up because he is the senior batter in this top six, other than Temba Bavuma. So it's time for him to now step up, um, and prove himself, particularly overseas. So let me get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. Tushar says, want more performances from Mulder like this, both by bat and ball. Rolando says, I think West Indies still ahead because of Shama. Because of Shamar. Batters need to handle Shamar better in the second innings. 100%. I do believe that, but I think now they have a little bit more. They know more. They know a little bit more about him, and I think that on day three, if we can survive, if we can get them out in this first session and then bat second session and third session into day three, because we're literally only on day two today, guys. The match, it's madness. So if we can bat the rest of day two and then get into day three, I do feel the pitch is going to deteriorate a little bit more and get slower. That grass that is on the wicket is going to die a little bit, and the ball won't move as quickly and as low off the pitch, as quickly off the pitch as it has been. But I still feel it still will keep quite low and be a little bit difficult to read on. But the spinners will start to come into play, and the wicket will be a lot slower and easier to bat on, I feel. So we need to bat smarter. And the way this game has turned out, because we were bowled out so cheaply and so quickly, we are not going to be batting our second innings on the best possible day, which I feel is probably day three or day four. We are going to still be getting the wicket where there is a little bit in it for the bowlers. So we're going to have to bat really well and really hard and focus on our execution. Sanjay says, Khalid, bro, bowling is good, but batting still is fragile. What can SC do to become a good batting side? I think it's this time in the middle together as a unit. I think the more that these players play, the more that they play red ball international cricket, the more that they will grow. I even feel that good SAA tours would be good for them as well, because that's just a level above domestic cricket, and I think that they need to play a level just above domestic cricket more often. And there's foreign conditions, they'll be learning from it. I think this more game time in Test cricket they will be better for it. I do think that this batting unit is the right batting unit for the future for South Africa for at least the next year or two. Bar obviously performances this year in the domestic season. Can a guy like Lesego Senekwane come have another season like he did last season? Can the likes of Matthew Brzezinski have another season like he did last season? Because he's the one that's knocking on the door, I feel, in this format. Can a Jordan Herman step up and be the player that he was 2 seasons now running? There are a lot of players that will be knocking on the door. Reinhard van Tonder, can he revive his career and become more consistent at the domestic level? There are players that are knocking on the door when it comes to this first-class cricket team, but I feel that this has been probably the best batters in South African cricket for the last 3 to 5 years. So I just think that more time together, more time in the middle, more time with Coach Shukri and the coaching staff, we'll start to see an increase in performances. I think that we should focus on try to win every single game, but I don't think the main focus here should be the WTC for this time around. I think we should focus on trying to win the next WTC and work towards that. And I think that being able to read the conditions, they need to work on learning how to read conditions quicker and then adapting to those conditions. Rolando says, has load shedding reduced in SA? Yeah, we haven't had load shedding in Touchwood. We haven't had load shedding in ages. I can't even remember the last time we had load shedding, to be honest. So it has reduced. I'm not so sure about other parts of South Africa in Joburg, and because I know Joburg was hit a lot harder by load shedding than Cape Town was. Because I remember being in Joburg and them getting a regular stage 6, stage stage 6 and stage 7 load shedding schedules. So stage 5 and stage 6 mainly load shedding schedules, and they were hit quite a lot by that. I was lucky that I was staying in a house that had a generator, so I wasn't affected as much, but I know that other people were. Rolando says once the ball is soft, batting becomes easy. That's also true. The ball was dragging back. That's true. The pitch was challenging but not unplayable, says Rolando. Both sides, batters didn't apply themselves. Wonderboy says Tristan Stubbs' weakness outside off stump is being exposed. He needs to be more patient. Exactly. That's what exactly why that's why I said that his wicket was probably the only one I was a little bit upset about, because I feel that he needs to learn a little bit more patience in Test cricket. You see, in domestic cricket in South Africa on South African pitches, those deliveries on most of the time, on majority of the time, that will go to the boundary. He will be driving that. And getting runs for it in domestic cricket um, on our wickets. But yeah, in the West Indies, the way this pitch is playing at the moment, I don't think it's the same. He needs to be a little bit more patient. Um, Daim said, without Ngidi, our bowling lineup is better. And in fact, I think Ngidi would have been really good on this wicket. In fact, I think he would have been taking wickets on this wicket. I think this wicket is actually perfect for him. But I agree with the selection, because I did say we needed a little bit more energy and someone that can help KG out with a seeming workload, which I felt that Ngidi wasn't doing in the previous Test match. Sam says the problem is new batters needs technical changes and in batting, which can be done only by legend coaching like Callas. I don't agree with you. Maharaj always disappoints when it comes out to batting. I don't know why. I think that Coach Shukri is good enough, way more than good enough to be able to coach these batters. He's had an influence on a hell of a lot of batting careers domestically, and with his coaching camps and the high performance coaching that he did back then. So I believe that him, and I think Imran Khan um, is a good addition. I think Imran Khan is an excellent coach. I think that he's done superbly with the Dolphins, and he's helped a lot of those batters actually reach their full potential. Someone like Bryce Parsons, for example, um, and reviving Marcus Ackerman again to a level that is top notch. So I think he's a good addition. Mohammed Amin says Aiden Markram at this point is a bowling all rounder. Yeah, he needs to be better with the bat. Um, in my times cases, Markram comes second. First, I think Verena should be replaced by Ryan. And with the bowling options left outside playing 11, I think Nkidi days are numbered. I'm still backing Calvarena. Sam 4.45 players got for Duck, which is something I'm complaining about, and it's bad. It's not good at all. RTV Sports says Johannesburg has had some load shedding, as I thought and expected. Like I said, Cape Town's got hasn't had any. I'm not sure if it's like that in every single suburb though. Thank you a lot, new governor, for the super chat. I have to read out your 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 comment. Been away, I'm back. Didn't watch last night. Was at a green top. No, it wasn't a green top, but there was some grass on the wicket, and I think that they were surprised by how low the ball kept and how quick the ball actually came off the surface. Tashan Govan says Burger showing Shukri what a huge mistake he made by leaving him out in the first. Performed with the ball, bat and ball. For me, Rob makes much better decisions than Shukri. Um, I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that Nandre was struggling a little bit um, before the first test, and that's why they didn't play him, I think. But I'm not 100% sure if that's true, though. Rolando says Seals used the crease well to dismiss Tony. It, that's true. That excavated angle. Um, Being away, I'm back. I've read that Nandre is world class. What a knock against a tougher pitch. Consistent against India. Aiden always inconsistent. In my time says, what is Imran Khan? What has Imran Khan become? Well, he's the at the moment he's just on this tour at the moment as the batting consultant. I think he'll be taking over batting consultancy for the high performance coach as well, high performance team as well. Is it the high performance team? We did a report recently. Him and Paul Adams are taking over. I think it's the high performance side. Um, let's double check that quickly. But he is Dolphins coach. Let's see here quickly. Where is that story? I have it here somewhere on cricketfanaticsmag.com. So quick plug there. Go check out our website. It's very important also that you guys do so. We update it regularly. Um, where is that story now? Here we go. Yeah, high performance leads. So Adams and Khan have been appointed as high performance leads. Obviously, Paul Adams in the bowling department and Imran Khan in the batting department. Um, I just want to see if he's leaving the post because he's currently with West Indies at the moment. He's helping out Coach Shukri because Ashwell Prince wasn't available. Sam says, so SA have 3 gun left arm fast bowlers in Janssen, Berger, and Mapaka. Oh, yeah. Excited for the future. Rolando says, SA has a chance to qualify for WTC final. They need to do well against Pakistan. But I looked at that and it seems like we have to win every single game to get to that WTC final, if I'm not mistaken. I know we have a chance and we shouldn't give up on that. I'm not saying that we should give up on that. But I think that our full focus should be on the next one and winning that one, but try and do our best as possible in this one. Rolando saying Jason Smith should be considered for tests. Well, that is starting. We can already see that he's going to be part of the SAA side, and he's already been picked in the T20 side. So that Proteas call up could be around the corner for Jason Smith, and I think that another good season from him domestically will really put him in that mix. Tirshan says, imagine this lineup on a green top: KG, Janssen, Nokia, Berger, and Gerald. Yeah. Sam says, I love Jason Smith, but is he able to bowl 140, 135 kilometers per hour consistently? I'm more impressed with his batting ability. I think he bowls around the same pace as Vian Mulder. But his batting ability is really strong, and I think as a batter, he should try and get into the side. Ronaldo says, why do legends don't come in coaching staff after on permanent basis? I think it's money. Honestly, I feel that maybe they can't afford to maybe perhaps pay these coaches a massive salary for a permanent deal. So they pay them in stints so that they can help out. And I don't think we can afford an overseas coach, to be honest. Ricardo says, thanks for the review. Loving the information. Thank you a lot for tuning in, bro. Neil says, about Markram, he has a technical weakness, has shown he's playing the ball on the move. This has been exposed several times. I don't know what happens to Markram because if you look at the start of this innings of a year in this match, he played with freedom and he looked quite comfortable. And this is something that we've been saying about Markram. It's becoming almost like a habit now. It's becoming almost inevitable with him, and it's becoming more of a characteristic now, I feel, with him. He seems to be get him look really good at the crease and get amazing cover drives away, and he looks like $1,000,000, and then suddenly, boom, nicks a ball that he shouldn't play at, or gets his defenses all wrong and gets trapped LBW, for example. So he needs to perform. He needs to work on his consistency with regards to that. Um, Sam says, Khalid, who will be bowling coach for White Ball? Seems Simons will leave. Why are they not considering Dale Steyn, Monet already joined Indian bowling coach? We don't know if they're not considering Steyn or not. I mean, I haven't really heard anything about that yet. Um, I would assume that they would consider everybody. South Africa obviously wants CSA in a Inkwe, the unit obviously want the best coaches available to be able to be a part of the setup. And I feel that they would go for anybody that they can afford. I don't, by any stretch of the imagination, I don't think that they would go for someone that they don't believe can do the job. They want the best for cricket South Africa and for South African cricket at least. So our the financial issues, which is getting better, we are chipping away at those um those debts and becoming more profitable, and it is getting better, but it's still going to take a long time for us to become to clear all that debts and become a very profitable organization again. And that is something that we need to consider when it comes to certain selections. Now, Dale Steyn, I feel the work that he did at Sunrisers Eastern Cape has been brilliant, and I feel that even his work in the IPL has been brilliant, and his analysis of the bowling situations and analysis of pitches and all of those type of things. And I feel like his free spirited type of nature, where he does put trust in the bowler and allows them, he gets them to be themselves. And I think that's a very important factor when it comes to a coach, that you bring out the best in that person. Wesley says, I chuckled with when Rabada batted above Pete. What a crucial 38 not out from Dane Pete. Top scorer of the day, guys. And we need to give credit to Coach Shukri for bringing him back into the test setup, I feel, because he's been excellent since he's been back. I think it was a brilliant stroke by him to bring him back, actually. He's great in New Zealand with bat and ball, and he's good again here with the bat, and I'm hoping he can do that with the ball. Lungi needs to work on his run up. This is main reason of reduced reduced effectiveness. I think that's what you mean. As CSA improved financially, we have Dishan Fulham predictions. Ooh, yeti. I'm really right at the top. It's Premier League's back again, and I'm excited about the new season. Predictions for the match, I think it will be like a 1-0 United, but yeah, maybe. Because this is at Old Trafford, I'm going to give United the benefit of the doubt and say probably a 1-0 United. I was a bit worried about what Eric Ten Hag said in the press conference, saying that we're not ready, and he doesn't feel that any other team is ready. He thinks that's for all teams, that we're not ready for this season yet because of all the short preseason, he said, as well as not everybody being a part of the preseason, and also people coming back from the Euros and all of that. Not everybody's been able to train together and practice together. Signings have come in quite late. So some of the new signings have only had like 2-3 days of training with the rest of the team. So, and even the guys that came back from the Euros have only had like a week back with the team. So he said in his press conference that we are not ready, and he doesn't think that other teams will be ready either. So we have to just navigate it. That worries me a bit, but I'm very excited about the new season, the new signings, the fact that everybody's fit except Luke Shaw again and Malasia on the left. But yeah, 1-0, I think, from a Fulham perspective. United 1-0. Mulder really bowled well. He needed that performance. Rolando says, I was reading SA20 the season didn't go as expectation. I was reading that SA20 this season didn't go as expected. Is that true? For me, the first SA20 was better than the second one. I saw a lot more empty stadiums than I did in the first one, but I also believe that that was because a lot of games were played in a week. And the games were a lot more congested this time around than it was in the last one. So we'll have to wait and see if it's going to improve. But I know that profitably, money-wise, they improved on the money that they made. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of sponsors that jumped on board because of their social media engagement is brilliant. Wesley says, Khalid, did you watch SA Merging versus Zimbabwe? Some great performance, but it's heartbreaking that these games don't count in stats. It needs to change. I thought, I watched the game, yes, and I was very impressed by Dion Forrester, someone who Sam has been talking about a lot, and I think someone that um, um, some of us, there was someone else also that was talking a hell of a lot about, who was it? Siraj, I think it was Campbell, who comes on the show, who comes in the live chat quite a lot. He spoke about him a lot, and I'm very happy with what I've seen from him. But the one that impressed me the most has been impressing me for months now, for a couple of years now, since I've watched him play, is Dila Simolani. He's someone that I have been talking about for a while on this channel, and I need to interview him actually and get him on a show. And I think Senekwane as well has impressed me a lot. Tristan Luce has impressed me a lot. Jay de Klerk, I'm glad to see him back in getting good performances for the side as a spinner, because he's a spinner that is up and coming. Um, he has been up and coming. I mean, I remember seeing him play in 2016, 17 Kaya Majolovic. It was 2016 Kaya Majolovic. And that's the first time I saw him, and he was really good in that tournament. And he then kind of dipped off and wasn't getting really good contracts around domestic cricket and regular game time. But he's now coming to the fold again and showing his ability with the ball, and I'm really impressed with him as well. Uh, so those are kind of the players that stood out to me that really impressed me, I feel, on the tournament. And of course, the captain Mkhlali Mpungwana. Every time he gets an opportunity to be the guy and perform, he performs. So we have some great talent coming through the system. Khalid, why CSA not include some fitness tests for selection for Proteas? Because you have to be fit to represent your country at international level. They put in that strict what's the word I'm looking for? They put in strict criteria with regards to the testing of fitness a couple of years ago, but they've taken it away again. So I do believe that they need to put a little bit more emphasis on fitness. Because if you look at the fitness and conditioning, the strength and conditioning coach, he looks very fit, and he looks more of an athlete than some of the players in the team, to be honest. RTV Sports, you mentioned it being a big innings ahead for Markram because of his recent history. However, so many batsmen have failed in this match. How far do we go with criticism of batsmen on this pitch? No. I'm not being unnecessary. I'm just putting all. I'm not being unfair. I think that all of these batters need to perform in the next innings, and there's a lot of pressure on Kyle. There's a lot of pressure on particularly Kyle and particularly Aiden Markram, I feel, in this side um, to perform, and they need to put in performances now. And I'm a big fan of Aiden Markram. I'm not criticizing him, but I do feel that he needs to be the guy that he has been appointed to be, and that's our leader at the top of the order. Um, Rolando says, can we expect SA players playing in America back in the system in a few years? I highly doubt it. Not all of them. I think because of Coach Shukri's understanding and of Dane Pitt, and he knows him quite well, and because he's a spinner and we lacked that particular role in the squad and the team. I don't know what's happening with Simon Armour and what the relationship is there, but Dane Pitt's commitment and work rate, we needed someone like him in this off spinner in the side, and I think it was a good job by him to get him back. In what time square has it been published? How much profit did CSA get from EC20, and where are CSAs currently at financially? The last time I went to a financial, they had a little meeting with us to release that stats, and at that point it was 700 and something, I think, million in debt from 900 million. So they dropped like 200, 300 million of their debt, but I haven't heard any updates recently of how they're doing. I don't think anybody's necessarily reported it either. But if I do see it at some point, I will update you guys on that. I know that SA20 did well as a competition and as an organization, and South Africa CSA I think only get 40%. I think from SA20, if I'm not mistaken, either 40 or 50. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 40. They're not full stakeholders in the competition, not their competition. It's still owned by um, the Indian owners. Sam, Khalid, please put up bringing some players on the show, like Price Parsons, Adila Simalani, Brevis, Britsky, Raina Fantonde, and Marco Janssen. I will get in contact with them and try to get them on the show. It's difficult to get them on the shows when Test cricket's on, but I'll definitely try and get some interviews over the next couple of weeks. Let me try and get some interviews over the next couple of weeks. I did ask for Aiden Markram. I didn't get a response from CSA, so I'll maybe try again after this test series. I don't want to distract them during the test series, and it's also a little bit difficult to do those interviews with the time difference. So I'll wait for him to come back probably from the West Indies before I get him on the show. It's going to be one inning shootout. I'm so relieved West Indies dropped Roach. What should our approach be in the second innings? This match will be 3 days. It all depends on how South Africa bats in that second innings. If they can figure out this pitch, I think we can go 5 days easy. Um, like I said, for the batting approach, I think they need to be a little bit more patient in their execution and learn from each other. When they see a wicket fall and the ball do something strange, try and put in a preventative measures within your technique to try and combat that. I think sometimes pitchers need to be batting friendly pitches to make this last long, to make it the result they have made mockery of. You know, yes, I agree with you, but it's also very difficult and costs quite a lot of money to produce good wickets. And it's very difficult to do so when the weather doesn't play its part in helping you produce good batting wickets. It's very difficult to manipulate a wicket unnaturally, I feel, like without the help of Mother Nature. Um, Rolando says the pitches in India England series perfect for Test cricket. There you go. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. And also thanks a lot to the super chat as well. Neil Govender, thank you a lot because you've been really awesome with regards to being supportive with super chats. And I would really appreciate if everybody gets involved with super chats. I want to get to a stage on the channel where I only read out super chats because there's too many comments and live comments. That would be great. That is the end goal. But thanks a lot for everybody for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Please get involved with that. It's very important that you do so. Also, like and comment and share. RTV Sports is before you go, United 2, Fulham 2, enjoy. Yeah, it's very likely that it could be a draw in the first match, but I'm going to go for 1-0 victory. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another review show. Stay safe. Enjoy the match. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out. And the rest of your day. Peace out.